Hi everyone, I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. Thank you for joining us today. We're doing our regular live Q&A, 5 p.m. Pacific. Today's Wednesday, so we're on TikTok as always, immigration lawyer John, and we're also on YouTube live on the YouTube camera to my right. You'll be catching the recording of this on YouTube. If you are watching this, subscribe, click the like button and the bell icon so you get notifications for our daily videos. We have regular lives, special unique videos that really break down the process. As well as clips and all sorts of other stuff, pictures on the community board of approval notices, some under post on approvals, so some work permits I got, so you get an idea of how timelines happen, of when those cases were submitted and when the decisions happen, because I get asked about that all the time. So you might be noticing the format's a little different, taking off the suit and just relaxing a little more, giving this a shot how it is. So definitely just shoot your questions as they come up. We'll get officially started in a second, just dealing with and take care of some fine-tuning some stuff to make sure everything looks good. There we go. When you set up a new set, you got to see how everything looks. But thank you everyone for joining us. So with that, let's get it started. All right, so before we begin, I want to remind everybody, if you're going to do a marriage-based case or a fiance-based case, you should definitely download the free Ultimate Marriage Green Card ebook at www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com/ebook. Make sure to put in the www, that part's really important. But download it, it's 40 pages, the best one out there, really breaks things down. I think it'll help you a lot. All right, so we got some questions right off the bat from our YouTube team. A lot of new people becoming subscribers on YouTube. Rush J says, thank you for the good work you're doing. Thank you so much. I submitted my package on August 24th. Still haven't received any reply yet. Well, Rush, did you get, it's too early. The first thing is check your bank account or your credit card to see if they cash a check in the next week or so. Sometimes they're taking like 3 weeks to cash it. So that'll give you an indication that they have done it. And then sometimes the mail is slower, so it takes a while to get the receipts. But the first thing to check is always the payment. That's the way that you can tell if someone got something. So Russia, definitely check that out. That's the way to go on that. Penn says, sir, when do you think USA will open for travel from Europe? Well, it's not fully closed. So depending on your case and the issues that you have, you might still be able to do it. But when do I think? It's not about what I think. This is a decision the people in charge of American immigration think. So that's that. Now, speaking of American immigration, we got some leaked reports that the Department of Homeland Security is going to make it even more difficult for people to immigrate. And they're going to have these really restrictive fingerprinting, biometrics, DNA tests, kind of crazy stuff that are happening. For example, if you're going to get a joint sponsor or it's just a financial sponsor for your case, they're going to have to do fingerprinting as well. I think it's just a different other way, one of just making it so difficult for people to not want to help and become joint financial sponsors. And so make it so that people who don't have the financial means can't do it. And secondly, it's just an increasing, police state kind of stuff of really monitoring Americans and collecting all their data and their information, their systems. So it's a pretty wicked system. Lawrence, thank you so much. I appreciate it, bro. Thank you. Thanks for all the help and everything. Okay, Russia said, okay, thank you. We'll check. Okay, so Russia was asking about how to know what's going on with the case. Yeah, as I said, it's all about the money. That's the first way you can tell. If it's not getting cash after 3-4 weeks, then you're probably going to get a return. So that's going to suck. But August 24th, right now September, it's way too early. Sometimes they get it done a week. Sometimes it takes a month. It's really inconsistent. Ali Tariq on TikTok says, I have a question. Well, go ahead, just ask your question. If I can answer it, I'll send the answer your way. So they are, approving work permits. I'm getting it done around 6 months, but it could be faster, it could be slower. It's all over the place. Fauzan asks, great work you're doing. Thank you, Fauzan. My N400 says we're taking longer than expected to process your case. What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. You just got to be patient, and when they get to you, they'll get to you. As you know, if you guys have questions, just ask your questions. Don't ask to ask a question. So, COVID-19 happened, so there's less interviews, less people come to work, so it just takes longer than expected. Don't check case processing times. None of that is reliable at all in any way. So it's very important not to pay any attention to that and not to think about it. And if they say stuff on the website, it's just talk. You'll know when you have your appointment, when you get the notice in the mail, and that's about it. If it goes 1 year is not bad, but it goes 1.5, 2, 3 years, then you got to think about what's going on, some mistake happening. Omar asks, if you're a U.S. citizen, how long can you stay outside the United States? This is a good question. I get asked that a lot. there's no requirement as a U.S. citizen that you maintain residency inside the United States. So when you're a green card holder, you're supposed to be living in the United States. But after you leave, after you get citizenship and you leave, it doesn't really matter. You can do whatever you want. Now you have to be mindful that the U.S. taxes on international income, and they want you to declare accounts that you have overseas for the most part. So if you have that kind of situation, just have a good accountant and talk with them. But when it comes to being able to go overseas and live overseas, that's no problem. You should do it. Have fun. So he asks, I applied for asylum last month. When can I apply for work permit? Well, the rule was you could apply after 5 months, but they think they're changing the rule, so I'm not exactly sure. I don't accept asylum cases out of my office, so I don't remember the exact details of the new proposed rule. It's going to be changing. It's not official yet, but it's going to be changing, where I think you have to wait a year. But right now, at least the last it was 5 months, but we'll see what that happens. I would say you should have an attorney if you're doing an asylum case. Just talk with them and ask them what's going on. Or there's a lot of pro bono companies that do that. I just don't handle asylum cases, so I wouldn't be a good resource for that. Yes, I'm a citizen. I applied for my husband. I had a baby last week. Now I need public cash assistance. Will it affect? Well, they say if you're getting that assistance for a U.S. citizen child, it's not supposed to affect it, but we don't really know how they're going to decide these kind of things. So I can't say for sure that it won't. But if you need something, and do it and figure it out later, I guess. I don't know. I have to see your whole financial picture to make a recommendation. But they said, again, if it's a U.S. citizen child, they are entitled to that money. But if you're going to get assistance, that means you don't make enough income yourself, which means you're going to have a joint sponsor. And so that opens up all the hassles and headaches that come with joint sponsorship nowadays, especially if you're doing consular processing. So I can't say that it won't affect you. I just don't know. Nobody knows. It's like there's no real good answer on that right now because they just make things up as they're going along. I mean, there is one definite answer. No, it shouldn't affect. But whether it's really going to affect or not, we'll have to see how they're going to actually institute this law, which is on hold right now. So we'll have to see what happens. Ali says, we are in Canada currently, but want to settle in America. Well, Ali, yeah, we got to schedule consultation, see what's going on in your case. S asks, when would they open consulates overseas to immigrant visa appointments? They have. It depends on what kind of immigrant visa appointment that you're looking for, but for many times they have. And Ali follows up, so I want to ask, can our mother legally live with us? I don't know, Ali, I have to check out your case, so schedule a consultation. Chase asks, sleek haircut, thank you. It's actually kind of messy. I've tried to put it all together. Mr. Khosravi question, do I have to wait 180 days before being able to change employers with 3-year H-1B extension past 6-1B that was approved A-140? You're talking about AC-21 extension when you want to change jobs. It's not about when the I-140 was submitted. It's when the I-485, I believe, was submitted. I don't do too many H-1B perm cases. I focus more on self-based petitions. But I think it's 180 days after filing for adjustment of status. So I'm not sure if that's going to work. But that's something I have to consult privately about. I'll do some research or ask another attorney about. I only handle cases primarily where you take care of your own case. So L1s when you're the owner. EB1A when you're applying for extraordinary ability. But when you have, I don't like people having someone else file for them. So when you're an H-1B holder or you're a green perm, you have a boss that's controlling you, and I don't like dealing with those kind of situations. So that's why I don't focus on that. But I think, yeah, it's just so, sorry, I don't have an exact answer. Steadfast says, God bless you, sir. Thank you, thank you for saying that. God bless you as well. For having the patience for the answers, different questions. Keep up the good work watching from a PH. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. MTS asks, can a PhD student apply right away for his green card? Having a PhD has no bearing on applying for a green card in the United States, has no effect at all. If you have a basis, a true basis, like you marry a U.S. citizen or something like that, yeah, you can apply for it. But the PhD has nothing to be able to get you by itself. Now, if you're a PhD and you discovered a cure for something that's important, or you're a PhD and you like to invest in a sort of company, yeah, you can maybe file for a green card. We'll see what happens. But just purely being a PhD in the U.S. doesn't lead to a green card. There's no connection between a PhD and green card status in the United States. So I gotta need more information to see if you fall within one of those exceptions. User 357 asks, sir, when do you think actually courts opening in San Francisco? Any update? Well, they said in September they're going to open, but just check the website for the courts, EOIR, because even if it opens, it's about when your appointment is. So it's like just saying it opens doesn't really make a difference for you. They keep pushing it back. They say they'll open in 2 weeks and they don't open it and they push it back. Right now they say September, but who knows what's going to happen. You check with the local court. Each court is different. Singh asks, hello, sir, I called USCIS, but they didn't respond. Yeah, don't call USCIS. If you have an issue, hire a lawyer because USCIS is not responsive. Ali Tariq says, your voice cut out when you answered my question. Could you also repeat it? I don't know what your question was. I have to repeat your question. Vito asks, what is the latest update for F2A green card holder spouse for their spouse? It's hard to say latest updates because there's 1,000 little updates that happen and it's too complex for me to discuss it. Like there's an update for spouses of TPS holders who didn't have status but got TPS, left with advanced parole, came in and want to file for adjustment of status. Now, if you're part of the 1% of people that it applies to, that's the latest update. But explaining what I just said right there is going to take too long and it's going to bore everybody. So I don't have any general updates. It's not something I could answer like that. Coleman says, if someone's worked without papers also didn't get paid as per the rule, what he needs to do. Listen, if you worked and you get paid, you could file a complaint against that person, even if you didn't have papers in the state of California, at least, if you have a true work relationship. But you need to hire an employment lawyer to discuss that part. But regarding the rest, I don't know. You really should consult an attorney in private for that. Mohammed asks, would you please explain about those who are under administrative processing for K-1 visa? Well, there's nothing to explain. Administrative processing means you're on hold. They're doing additional research or need more documents or something. And whenever they're ready to let it go. Many times, like if you're from Iran, for example, that hold could be months, even years sometimes. You might have to file a lawsuit. But that's unfortunately the way it is. This administrative processing is somewhat of a black hole. And it's disastrous for couples, really. S-Car says, we are waiting for a spouse visa interview, but they closed consulate in India right now before interview. Yeah, whenever they're comfortable with opening the consulate, they'll let you know first before they let me know. Muhammad says, thank you, you're welcome. MTI asks, how long does it take to get a green card via EB3? Well, it depends on what country you're from and some stuff like that. It could be, 1 or 2 years. It could be 10, 15, 20 years. So it really depends on what country you're from and what the case situation is. Ali's question was, my mom was born in Canada, but me and my brother are American. Well, if you're an American citizen, you could file for your mom's green card. So she could potentially, but I need to know, you could potentially file for a green card for her and she'd get it. But that's something we need to talk about. So schedule a consultation with the office. My email is info@jqqlaw.com, and we can get into that. But it's possible. If you're a U.S. citizen, you can file for mom, but I need to know your finances, your mom's background, see your documents, see your backgrounds. There's a lot of things I got to check out. Sirwaj says, if you make a mistake on your application, can you correct it in your interview? For the most part, yeah. And it happens pretty frequently. Sometimes I'll mail them a letter letting me know we did a mistake, and also at the interview, give them a letter and explain it so they can correct the record, especially if it's something serious, because you don't want them to accuse you of fraud or misrepresentation, saying you lied on the application. So yeah, it's not too harsh. It's flexible. You could do that. Just make sure to do it. You don't want to come back. That's why I say mail it to them, because sometimes you'll tell the officer forgets to put it down in the application. Then 5 years later, when you're applying for citizenship, they catch something wrong. They say you lied to us. So if you mail it, hopefully it gets on the file and you hand them. So you're just putting them on notice. And depending on what the mistake is, sometimes you go to uscis.gov and there's a typo correction thing on their website that'll help you too. It's getting on the record so later on they don't accuse you of lying. That's the main thing. But it's doable. But I mean, depending on what the mistake is, consult with an attorney and see how serious it is. Ali follows up, we already answered that, but our mom's only Canadian. Yeah, so Ali, it's possible, just send me an email, we schedule time to talk about it. Sings asks, thank you, sir, you're welcome, you're doing a good job. We got information from you, God bless. Thank you, Sing, I appreciate that. If you have the time, I would really appreciate it for those who like the show. Go to Google, jqqlaw.com is my website, as my law firm, jqqlaw.com, or JK Law Firm, really. And on the Google reviews that pop up, leave a 5-star review. It helps me a lot, and I appreciate it. And it gives me more energy to do this kind of stuff. Just Google JQK Law, and the right-hand side, the reviews pop up. You don't have to write anything, just write 5 stars. Rikogi, thank you for joining. Let's see. Ali, I'm only 18, my brother's 14. So Ali, no, you have to be 21 to apply for your parents' green card. So, yeah, so there seems like a lot more going on. Definitely consult consultation private. So no, you have to be 21 to apply for parent. And that's the reason I say consultation, because like I would assume you're 21, but I can't make any assumptions in law. I have to see your paperwork, so I don't just tell you. And that's why the reason I can't answer specific questions here, because things will pop up. This person was asking about getting a green card for the parent. They're a U.S. citizen. Well, they can, but they have to be 21. But in the back and forth, we didn't get that information until a couple questions later. And that's why we got to dive in deep, because there might be other things I don't know. And we got to sit and talk about that kind of stuff. Muzi asks, I still didn't get my answer even though I finished my interview. It's been a month. Yeah, a month is not too bad. Just be patient. If it goes several months, then write them a letter or something like that. I mean, at a month, what I do is after I do an interview for USCIS, At the embassies, it's different. There's not much you can do. But with you can email them or something. With USCIS, they say wait 4 months, but at the 30-day mark, I just write a letter to the officer, to the field office, just be like, hey, you know, is there anything we could do to get this going? The interview went well. Let me know if you need documents. Very polite. And sometimes half the time that works, and then half the time it doesn't work, and you have to wait. It's not a consistent system, so the timetables are all over the place when it comes to immigration. So thank you everyone for watching. I hope you like this new format for the regulars, sitting on a couch. And I was hoping this mirror thing above me wouldn't get too distracting. Abakar asks, sir, I went to apply for a travel document. I have a green card. Is it possible to apply online? No, for a travel document, depending on what kind of travel document you want, all of them are mail-based, so you have to do that. User 590 says, how long does it take to approve for I-130 at Vermont Service Center? Well, go to uscis.gov and check the Vermont Service Center processing times and find the answer there. I'm not in charge of processing times, and frankly, there's no exact processing time. It varies, so just hope the best. But if you want the official word, just go to the official site and uscis.gov, and they can answer your question there about processing times. Well, thank you so much. Let's see, Avatar, thanks a lot. You're welcome. I appreciate it. Thank you. So thanks to everyone joining on TikTok, on YouTube. We got a group here. We got a bunch of people watching. Wow, that's interesting. Thanks. Usually our biggest group is on TikTok, but good to have people on YouTube. I probably should do it more often. But you know, we do on Instagrams on Tuesday and Thursday. If you haven't already, join the Instagram channel, JQK Law Firm, and some stuff there. User 5 now, it's been a year. Yeah, you got to contact them. Alicia says, can I call my wife on tourist visa? I don't understand. Can you call your wife? Yeah, sure, give her a call. User 902 says, I have applied for adjustment of status in June and EAD card. I didn't get EAD card yet. Yeah, you gotta be patient. June was 2 months ago, so you gotta be patient. I don't know. Like, if you read the forums online of how long this stuff takes, it shouldn't be a surprise. It's not that efficient of a system, so you gotta be patient. And when you get it, you get it. That's about it. So yeah. So let me know if you haven't already, especially on YouTube, what cities you guys are joining from, where you're joining. It's really interesting to see how far this is going. Steadfast asks, this new format for where you just sit down is more relaxing to watch. Thank you, I appreciate that. Russia's from Delaware, very interesting. How is it in Delaware right now? Summer's ending and stuff. I've heard everyone's rushing out of New York City and go to places like Delaware and Vermont. Is that correct? Are you seeing much of New Yorkers coming? User finance. Germantown, Maryland. I've heard of that. Thanks for joining from Maryland. I have a lot of family in Maryland, actually. I have cousins and stuff over there. You know, Maryland, like they're outside of Baltimore. It's like the suburbs where they have a bunch of like huge plots of land. It's kind of crazy. User 590 says 1 year is an old process time or not. User 590, I don't know. What kind of case was it? I don't know. Every case is different. So I don't like to talk about processing times because that goes into analysis that's too repetitive. I've talked about too much. Ali says, can I bring my wife on a tourist visa while her green card case is pending, then file for adjustment of change of status? So first of all, you can't bring anybody for a tourist visa. She applies on her own. Most likely they'll deny it. Sometimes they'll approve it depending on the backgrounds. And you can't apply for a tourist visa with the intent to file for adjustment of status in the United States. That's considered fraud. And so I can't recommend that you do fraud at all. And I don't recommend that you do that. If your wife wants to come as a tourist to spend time and then go back home, that's possible, but she cannot come with the intent to stay here. And will they give her a tourist visa if she applies? Probably not, but sometimes they do. So, you know, if you got a good reason, give it a shot. That's it. Thank you, Daniela, for the panda points. I appreciate that. Okay, so Sabi's from Seattle. Oh, great. My wife's from Seattle originally. What part? I mean, people say I'm from Seattle, but she always say, well, I'm from Bellevue, but like Seattle is like the main city, so everyone just says Seattle. I'm a car from San Francisco. Great to see you, local Californian. I haven't been to San Francisco in a while. Last time I went there, it was a mess. User 5901. I-130, yeah, 1 year is normal. It happens sometimes. It depends on what kind of case you have. If you're a green card holder filing for a spouse, it could easily take 1.5 years. Just check out your case on uscis.gov. Daniela says, is it hard to convert from a business visa to an immigrant visa? It's not hard or easy. It just depends on if you have the criteria and the qualifications to do it. So, you know, if you're on the H-1B and you have an employer filing for your green card, it's always hard. When you deal with the government, it's hard, but it's doable. Or you're on L1, you want to do A1C, it's doable too. But it just depends on your case, you know. Sirwash asks, should I mention about my moving violation ticket during my naturalization session interview? And Well, you know, they ask about citations you received. If you got a citation for parking or something like that, I wouldn't include that. But if you got a speeding ticket, I do include that in the form, and I do mention the application just to be upfront, because the updated form N400 didn't used to be like this, but the updated form specifically asks for any citations you receive. And a traffic ticket for speeding or something, moving violation as you call it, that is essentially a citation. So I would just mention it to be safe. Unless you got like a lot of tickets, it shouldn't be a reason for them to deny it, but you want to be safe. Alicia says, where are you from? I'm from Dallas. Well, I'm born and raised in Los Angeles, actually, but you know, I was thinking about going to visit Dallas to see how that is. You get a bigger house and more land and less crazy than Los Angeles. So I was thinking about making the switch. Luckily, you know, the work I do as an immigration lawyer, I can do anywhere, so I don't necessarily have to be in Los Angeles to do it. So I'm like, well, might as well switch it up. I get twice the amount of house and land if I go to Dallas, and, you know, maybe get some fresh food because more, I mean, good thing about California is we have so many farms and fresh food here that it's always good. I have friends who live in New York and like they barely get fresh food and fresh fruit and vegetables and stuff. It's kind of crazy. But thinking about switching to Dallas, I've just never been there. I can see how the weather is. User 902 asked about USCIS furloughs. Well, they said they're not going to do the furloughs, which is letting like a bunch of their staff, majority of their staff, just go home and wait to get more funding to hire them back or bring them back. But they did say we don't have money, so things are going to slow down. Valor says, why Biometric getting delayed? Why? Well, because they were closed for 5 months, so things get backed up. Rush says, what is the cost for a consultation with your firm? Well, it depends. If you need a half-an-hour consultation, 1 hour consultation, or a hourly, so it's like something open-ended. My hourly fee is $500 per hour for my firm. Most people just need a half-an-hour consultation, but it depends. So just that's the first time I'm really mentioning the prices here, but there you go. Daniel asks, how much approximately does it cost to cover the visa? There's so many different visa categories that is different. So an EB1C green card as opposed to EB1A, as opposed to a national interest waiver, as opposed to a perm, as opposed to an EB5. These are all different. They have different costs. So it's not even clear you can even do it. So really the thing to do is consult with an attorney to see what case even is possible for you. And then your background is a big part of it. You might need a waiver for something, or you might have criminal history that needs extra work, or there's so many different factors that go into pricing a case. Now, there are firms who go on their website and they just have fixed cases, but that means like everyone's different. You know, it's like, it's not, I don't think it's wise to just have one price for things, because that means I'm inevitably going to overcharge a lot of people just to be safe, because one person's work might take 10 hours, one person might take 50 hours. So to balance it out, to make sure like the money is correct, I'll just charge everybody 30 hours worth of work. So all these people who need only 10 hours of work all of a sudden are paying all this money to cover that one person who's much more expensive. I don't believe in that because it's not fair. So that's why I have an initial consultation, see how much work estimate is needed, and then charge just based on what that is. And because I don't have enough information about what you're doing, I wouldn't be able to give you a price breakdown of what the costs are. Now some lawyers can, and that's their thing, they could do that. But it's just different styles of doing things. Nothing wrong with that either. User 893 says, I have DACA, deferred action for child arrivals, and I have a special needs child. Is there anything I can do to apply for a green card? No. I mean, having a special needs child itself is not a way to get a green card necessarily. There might be, I mean, consult some of the attorneys. Humanitarian cases are my specialty, but probably not. I'm sorry to hear about your child. Daniel says, I'm from New York. Okay, cool. Oh, hopefully you're doing okay over there. I heard it's not as bad as it used to be. I say it's overblown how bad it is, but it's still a crowded place to be living in. I mean, New York City or like the outside of New York, like Buffalo or something like that. Saber says it's warm in Seattle, but not more than LA. Yeah, and it rains a lot there, but it's funny. I've been to Seattle 5 or 6 times in the winter too. I would go visit my wife's family there back when they lived there. And every time I went there, it didn't rain. So everyone who says it rains in Seattle, the 5 times I've been there, it didn't rain. I went skiing and it was perfect, and it was very nice. I enjoyed it there. And so it was a nice city. It's nice to calm. Traffic has gone bad, and as I said, my wife's from Bellevue, so like during those years, every time I visit, there'll be a new tower. Every time I went to Bellevue, there's a new tower. There's so much growing that would happen there. Bellevue, for those who don't know, is like a city that's next door to Seattle. User 67 says hi. Daniel says thank you. You're welcome. Hi, and thank you to you all too. Okay, so we're nearing the end of the program. If you guys have a couple more questions, we can throw in a couple more minutes of stuff. I'll be happy to do that. But the situation with USCIS right now is just expect delays. There's no way to time this kind of stuff. Between the furloughs and between all of the shenanigans that the administration is doing to make life hard for immigrants and tough, and not wanting people to naturalize before the elections, you could just expect delays. That's just what we're dealing with. So that's why I say don't look at timelines. Don't check the website constantly. it's just going to drive you crazy. Just live your lives, and when it happens, it happens. Don't stress yourself out too much about it, because it's really gonna be obnoxious if you do that with immigration. I see this stuff every day. It's really difficult. 104 Kind says, when can an LPR green card holder file for adjustment change for spouse? They can file as soon as they have a green card case. Well, usually there's a delay because there's too big a line for spouses of green card holders to file for adjustment. But that line is not existent. It's been out for a year, and for the foreseeable future, it's gone. So there's no extra delay in filing for adjustment status, but it depends on the spouse's status. When did they last enter the United States? What kind of violations have they had in the past? What are they doing right now? You got to see what the spouse's situation is. So there's no visa bulletin delay in the preference category charts for spouses of green card holders, but I don't know specifically in your case when the appropriate time is. Tajama on YouTube asks, I filed for a green card as an asylee, but 18 months have passed. No fingerprints. Please tell me about this. Well, they probably have your fingerprints already, so they probably don't need that because you just recently got your asylee status and you have that in the system. But there's delays, that's just the way it is. Daniela says, if my case has been denied once and I receive my social security number, my employer authorization, all the documents terminated. Yeah, as soon as you get a denial, unfortunately, that temporary EAD work permit that they give you is invalidated. You might have a social security number, that's your social security number forever, but as soon as the denial comes, the work permit gets out of the way too. And so that's that. But you gotta see why it was terminated. Why was your case denied too? 1 says, do LPRs have to wait the approval first, then apply for adjustment? No, I mean, as I said right now, if you had an I-130 pending, you could file for adjustment status along with the I-130 right now if it's appropriate for your case. So LPR is more restrictive what they could do. Like for example, if you're a spouse of a U.S. citizen, you could do a bunch of violations. They'll still give you a green card. But a spouse of a green card holder is not the same. So generally, you could submit the adjustment of status with the I-130 afterward right now as this recording is happening. But it depends on the background of the case again. I got to see what's going on with your specific case. Schedule a consultation. We'll talk about it. We'll see what your situation is. But probably you can, but I can't say for sure because I don't know enough information about you. Okay, well, a lot of good questions. A lot of good people on YouTube too. I like this. The more subscribers you get on YouTube, the more stuff. If you haven't already on TikTok or on YouTube, you're just catching this, subscribe and join these lives. I do them every Friday. I review Wednesday. But if we get a good crew asking good questions like this, I'll just do it more often. 1 Kind says, sure, thank you, sir. You're welcome. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for asking your question and coming on TikTok. I used to be really active on TikTok. I was like one of the top immigration lawyers. I got subscribers really fast. And then I got kind of bored of doing little TikTok videos and stuff. I'd rather just sit and talk like this. Now, I do a live on TikTok every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But they don't promote people on live. It doesn't really get me to get a lot of followers. But it's just like this. Now I'm more focused. Now I'm having fun with YouTube. So the YouTube community has been really good, and I like that and appreciate that. So, if y'all had any more questions, let me know. But we're near the end of the program. Steadfast says, like and subscribe. Thank you, Steadfast. Appreciate that. Well, I guess that's it for today. We got one more. Isa says, if I'm applying for a green card, do I automatically lose my DACA? No, they're unrelated. So until when you get the green card in the mail, yeah, your DACA goes away. But just by applying for a green card, that has no effect on DACA. So hopefully you get it. Hopefully you have a good green card case and you're able to get that, Isa. But thanks. And hopefully it works out. DACA is deferred action for child arrivals. These are people who came to the U.S. when they're young and they got the ability to just stay here, get a work permit as long as they keep renewing that permission, the DACA, what it's called, DACA. It's been in the news. There's a big court case on this. We'll see what happens if it's going to stay or not. But hopefully if you could get a green card out of it somehow. You can't get a green card from DACA, but it gives you chances and opportunities to get stuff going. Hopefully that'll work. All right, everybody. I think that's it for today's program. Again, if you have one last question, let me know. We're also going out for today. Thank you for everyone who's subscribing or joining right now. If you haven't already, you got a marriage case going on, go to www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com/ebook and download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card ebook. It'll really break down the process for you before you consult an attorney so you know what's up. And just catch the YouTube videos of this. Hello, Homar. Thanks for joining. And Bio asks, how can I include my income as a joint sponsor? Well, you need to fill out an I-864 as a joint sponsor if you're doing a green card and then add all that paperwork. So check out the instructions or just consult with an attorney in private. It's too general a question for me to be able to answer here. Eliza says, hi, my mom is trying to get a green card by her job. Is that possible? Maybe. It depends on the job. It depends on your mom's history and status and all that kind of stuff. It's possible for some people, not for others. So until I know a lot more information about your background, it's not something I can answer, but thanks for asking. JJM says, hey, any idea when Mumbai? We got a lot of questions about Mumbai Embassy. I don't know. You should just try contacting them and asking them. Hamar asks, I'm on a green card. Can I apply for my husband? He's already in the USA. Maybe. It depends on what your husband's status and immigration background is. So schedule a consultation in my office. So before doing that, just download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card ebook. You'll probably find your answer in there. You have to add the www part. But www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com/ebook, and then schedule a consultation if you'd like to talk more. Sid Khan says, I'm waiting for my citizenship interview. I want to bring my fiance. Should I apply under green card? You can't apply for a fiance if you have a green card. You have to be married to apply as a green card holder. But once you get citizenship, you could do a fiance visa. So it depends on which way you want to do it. And, download the ebook, and I'll give you an idea which one's better, which one's not. It's www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com/ebook. It's the Ultimate Marriage Green Card ebook. It's 40 pages of information. The link is in the description. Thank you, Steadfast. A link is in the YouTube description for those watching there. But check it out, and that'll probably answer your question, Sid. I appreciate that. Samar asks, hello, my John, is there anything new regarding people who sponsor a spouse from overseas? There is, as I mentioned to somebody else who asked this question earlier, there's so many nuanced changes that have happened. The changes probably don't affect your case, but there are changes, and it depends on the facts of your case. So I don't know. It's too nuanced for me to get into here. Sid asks, fiance visa or wait to get my citizenship? Again, download the ebook and see. I can't tell you what to do, especially because I don't know more information about you and what's appropriate. And we got to discuss the pros and cons of what's appropriate for your situation. But schedule a consultation and we'll talk about it more. First, download the ebook and that'll help you out. Thank you, Isa. Thank you, Yana. Again, for those on TikTok saying thank you, I appreciate it. And on YouTube, go type in JQK Law on YouTube, on Gmail, actually. Type in JQK Law on YouTube. Really appreciate a 5-star review. It helps me a lot. Sid says, thank you so much for your help and cooperation. I appreciate that. Hopefully you got a good answer to your question. And keep me posted if you have more specific kind of question we can kind of answer. Bio says, thank you very much for your help. You're welcome, Bio. Again, yeah, leave that 5-star review. Just type in JQK Law. God bless you. Funny, God bless you as well. Samar, thank you as well. I guess that's it for today. Thank you so much. We'll be back again tomorrow on TikTok, Immigration Lawyer John, that's John. And on Instagram, JQK Law Instagram page. Thank you, Daniela. Thank you. Such a nice group of people. I got to do this couch sitting down. It's so zen. Everyone's felt nice. I like it a lot. Your questions were great. I enjoy really doing this, and hopefully just do more and more of this kind of stuff. The easier I make myself to record this kind of stuff sitting. We used to call it Indian style when we were kids, when you put your legs like this, but we can't say that anymore. I'm not sure. Cross-legged, I think that's what they call it now. But appreciate it so much, and I'm thankful to be in your homes, in your phones to help you out with all this stuff. One last question. Christian says, hello, do you know anything about SIGs? I don't handle SIGs cases, so I can't help you with that. And you kind of need a lawyer from your state because SIGs have to go to state court for that too. But there's a lot of pro bono agencies. There's a group called Catholic Charities, which is a lot of cases like that, and they'll do it for free too. So contact them, and they'll help you out with all that kind of stuff. But I don't focus on SIGs. I guess last question here. City says, can you please write in the comment the link for the invitation? For invitation of fiance. It's not an invitation of fiance, but you mean the ebook. I'll write the ebook if I can. I'm not sure how to do that. So let me see. Sorry, I don't know how to do the ebook, but just here it goes. www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com/ebook. Go to that website and check it out. Steadfast says, Baum had a question. I'm sorry, Baum, I missed your question. Oh, my mother applied for a green card application. Can my mother include my income in her petition for me since she is not working and I do? My mother applied for my green card application and my mother include my income. If your income is lawful, they can include that, but if it's unlawful, no. So if you have a work permit and work permission, they can include that income. If not, they shouldn't have applied in the first place? You might mean the I-130, and it depends on where your income is. So Bio, that's too nuanced for me to answer here. I need to know a lot more information about where your income's from, what kind of case you had, how much income needs to be shown. There's a lot of different things that I need to know to be able to answer that, so I don't want to get too specific here, give you bad information. But yeah, definitely schedule a consultation and we can set that up. Christian, thank you as well. Hopefully the SIGs case works out. There's a lot to do when you go to SIGs. Was SIGs your question? Yeah, okay. And then Christian asked, do you know what will happen if my I-360 is approved and they already asked for my medical report for my I-45? it's just your case is processing, so it's good news. I mean, just get the medical and hopefully it works out. Until you get the green card, you never know. But it means your case is moving forward and you just gotta wait for it to get done. Bio says, thank you so much. You're welcome too. I wish you the best. And thank you everyone for joining. We'll be back again if YouTube, the comment question is really good. I'll probably start doing more YouTube lives probably from next week because everyone's been so good on this. Maybe do YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok all at once. So might do that. So thanks everyone for joining. I really enjoyed this session, and I'll be back tomorrow on TikTok and on Instagram, JK Law Firm. Thanks again. Till next one, God bless. Be safe. Bye-bye.